Hey there, Get Up and Go Challenge, day 15, halfway through our challenge. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, up at the bowling alley, up at the cabin in the bowling alley, trying to hide from the family so I can talk to myself or talk to you on this video and not wake everyone up. Today, day 15, the halfway point of our 30-day free Get Up and Go Challenge to always know what to do next is all about, what do I do now? What do I do about this story I'm telling myself about my current situation, knowing it's not where I want to be and that I want to be somewhere else. Now, I am being brave, sort of brave, and dealing with wealth, the area of finance in my life. Remember, we've got 7 main areas of our life: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, of course, relationships, and contribution. And each of these areas we have to pay a little bit of attention to, or our life will go amok. Has your life ever gone amok because you totally ignored one area of your life? Mine sure has. I totally ignored my health and I had a sudden cardiac arrest. I totally ignored my health and I had to have kidney surgery. I totally ignored my health and I had inflammation and all kinds of challenges and problems that caused me to be bedridden for frickin' 3 years before I realized what we're going to talk about today and why this is one of the topics that's near and dear to my heart. Back when I was sick and when I was bedridden, whenever we get sick, right, even if it's a cold or heaven forbid COVID, we go down usually. We go inside because our body needs to heal. Lots of times we sleep a lot. We have to let our body heal itself. But sometimes we think we have to go to the doctor, we have to go to experts, we have to look outside of ourselves for the healing and to get better. And I was in that situation literally for years where I was looking to the doctors and the experts to fix me. I figured I would just have to find the right doctor. They would diagnose what was wrong with me. They'd give me a magic pill because that's what we're led to believe, right? And I would be fine. And sort of simultaneously over a 6-month period, my rheumatologist, I didn't have a cardiologist back then, but I had a rheumatologist, lots of eye doctors because I was losing my vision and I couldn't see and I had migraines and all kinds of crazy stuff going on. And I had other specialists that I was seeing, and simultaneously they all kind of said, hey, we're doing everything we can for you. We've done everything we can. We can't find out what's wrong with you. Guess what? Just go home and then come back and see us in 6 months. Keep taking these crazy drugs that we've got you on that make you absolutely positively worse. They didn't say that, but I could feel it. And then we'll just see, and hopefully technology and science will figure something out over the next 6 months, and then you'll be able to go back to living your life. Well, again, bedridden, couldn't do anything, missing out on my life. My friends were, dating and getting married and graduating from college and having all these incredible experiences. And I was stuck in a dark room 98% of the time by myself in, agony and misery. And it was just ridiculous. So I knew that if anything was going to change, the doctors, my doctors loved me. They were awesome. They were amazing to me. But they weren't living my life. So as much as they were trying to help, they weren't experiencing everything that I was experiencing. And at some point, I remember waking up and I had a weird dream, but I woke up like in a cold sweat thinking, nobody can fix this but me. And that's when I started to look for options, look for alternatives, look for ideas, look for things outside of what I've been normally doing and things inside of me to fix it. The ideas come from inside of us as to what to do next versus just laying for the next 6 months, continuing like I had been and just being miserable, hoping and wishing that something and someone outside of me was going to fix me or diagnose what was wrong with me or figure it out. But I knew that they didn't have all the information. Only I had enough information to figure it out. So I started to look for options and other possibilities. For so long, I had believed that it was A or B. Either the doctors were going to fix me or I was going to be bedridden for the rest of my life, or maybe I was going to die because it wasn't a very fun way to live. So that's why I have such an affinity to the O in our SOAP model. SOAP, S-O-A-P, S. Yesterday we talked about our stories, where we are now, where we want to be, and why it's important to us to get to where we want to be. And so financially, I actually decided yesterday on I want to know and I want to figure out in a resourceful way how to generate another $3,000 a month. there's a project I want to do, and the price tag of that is $3,000 a month. So how am I going to creatively come up with an additional $3,000 a month? And I'm going to say, and that's where it comes in today. We can brainstorm. And why everybody's like, well, why do you always brainstorm? Why does everybody say brainstorming? Because it absolutely positively freaking works. It gets us going and generating ideas and thinking outside the box. And a lot of times all we need to do is see things from a different perspective, which is the epitome of thinking outside the box, right? It's just getting, sometimes you just have to fly up in an airplane and look down. That's my favorite way to think about and remind myself that I need to look at things differently. I don't fly so much. Nobody flies so much right now, but I used to travel a lot. And my favorite time was just when you get above the clouds and you're floating through the air and anything seems possible, but you look down at the ground and it's such a different perspective than we're looking at. You see the top of the forest and you see the whole forest. It's not like when you're camping and you're in the woods and you're just trying to find the trail and find your way out of the woods to a clearing. It's you see everything. You see the big picture, and that change in perspective is sometimes what we need. It's okay, almost all the times what we need to resolve the challenges and the issues that we're facing in our life. Sometimes we just need someone else's opinions and not to take it, but to realize that everybody looks at things differently and sees different perspectives and different possibilities. So brainstorming, it's just a brain dump. We dump out and we get creative and we look for things that we've never seen before, and we just write down all those ideas. So my challenge tonight will be, and your challenge tonight will be, to come up with at least 10. And why do I say 10 and 3? Because there's this human tendency, and it's natural for us to think that everything is black or white. Everything is A or B. We live in a polar universe of opposites. So we think that we have to get this job or it's the end of the world. We have to be with this person or it's the end of our life and we're never going to have another relationship. We have to be X or Y. And it's so not true. There are 26 letters in the alphabet, right? At least in the English alphabet, there are infinite possibilities, infinite options and ideas for us. And when we doubt that, all we have to do is hop on the internet these days or ask Siri or Google or whoever and say, and ask the question about whatever challenge we're facing, whatever thing that we're struggling with or having a problem with. We Google it and you won't just get, I remember when the internet was brand new and you would Google something and you'd get hundreds or thousands of responses or answers or places to go find out more about a topic. Well, now you Google and in milliseconds, there's millions and millions of possibilities and responses. So whenever we think that we're boxed into this or that, and it's such a human tendency to think it's A or B because of our surroundings and our upbringing, that brainstorming pulls more out of us. And that's why I say, don't limit yourself to 1 or 2 things, at least 10 things, a list of at least 10 things. So I have to come up with at least 10 ways that I could generate an additional $3,000 a month or get $3,000 a month access to coming in. Now, I could say I could put $3,000 a month on a credit card. I could borrow $3,000 a month. I could go get a loan from a bank or something that would give me the extra $3,000 a month. I could create a course. I could create a product or a service. I could do all kinds of things. And those are the kind of things I'm going to brainstorm and do on my list. I like to actually begin with the end in mind. So if I'm specific and I say, okay, I'm not looking to gain $20,000 or $100,000 a month, although that might be your number. For this example, I want it to be something that a lot of people can relate to. A lot of people right now would really benefit by having an additional $3,000 a month. So I'm using that as my example. And there's something I want that $3,000 a month would very much cover it. And I am challenging myself not to just think of sticking it on a credit card or letting someone else pay for it. I'm going to challenge myself as I'm brainstorming today. How can I get resourceful to create out of thin air that $3,000 additional a month? And I've got a lot of ideas. So it won't be hard for me to come up with 10. And if you want, I'll share my list of 10 below. And I'll probably do a lot more than 10. I always, whenever I'm brainstorming, whenever I've got any problem or challenge, I challenge myself personally to try to get at least 100 different ideas on my brainstormed list. And I've taught my kids to do this too. My daughter's having a baby, and it's really interesting. She's trying to pick out names. And I remember when she was 8, she won a puppy at the Pheasants Forever banquet. And it took her 3 days doing nominal group technique. And if you want to know what nominal group technique is, maybe we'll talk about that tomorrow as part of the A in SOAP. It took her 3 days to pick out the name for her puppy using that tool. So we'll see how long it takes her to come up with a baby name. But our challenge today then is to brainstorm a list of at least 10, not 100, but 10 things, 10 different possibilities of how you could create or at least be moving toward the story of what you want, the situation of what you want in your life. We all know where we are right now, right? If we were really honest with ourselves yesterday and we did that work, and it's not always easy, but it's really simple. It's simple to do. Either we do it or we don't. So if you haven't done it, pop back in and just think about your story for a couple minutes. Where are you now? Where do you want to be? Now, how are you going to get there? Options, infinite possibilities is all about how are you going to get there from A to B or A to Z, however you want to call it, from where you are now to where you want to be. Where I want to be, beginning with the end in mind, is an additional $3,000 a month. How am I going to bring in an additional $3,000 a month starting, this month? So share in the comments below 3. I want you to share 3 things to get over that A or B thinking. It's got to be this or that. If you write down at least 3 things, I know that you've done at least 3 on your list of 10, but go ahead and do 10, and you're welcome to do more. We can always do more when we get up and go. We can always do more when it comes to taking action. Nobody ever gets in trouble for giving too much or doing too much. At least they usually don't. That's it. That's our Get Up and Go challenge today. I'm going to get up and do some bowling today. I have to try to beat my granddaughter. She's 5, and she totally trounced me in bowling yesterday. Kind of embarrassing, but it is what it is. We all know our skill sets, and bowling is definitely not one of mine, but it is fun. All right, have an amazing day. If you have any questions about this or are struggling with anything, hit me up in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll be with you tomorrow for the A in our SOAP framework. Take care.